Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I'm going to show you a video of an African cosplaying as a Black American. And this is really the kind of thing that just irritates me. Watch this.
A lot of y'all have experienced racism, but most of y'all haven't experienced level 9 advanced racism. I'm in a club in Italy walking inside of an elevator. As soon as I step inside, this promoter, she was a woman, puts her full palm on my chest and stiff arms my black ass outside that elevator. And I'm a pretty big guy. You know how much force she had to put in that bitch to throw me out of the elevator? I'm looking inside the elevator and she has the biggest customer service ass smile I've ever seen in my life. Like she was doing my ass a favor. A thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Africans in most European countries are treated like shit. But the thing that she didn't realize was, although I am African, I'm also American. So I did what any American would do and I put my foot on the elevator, opened that bitch up, and walk right in front of her. Everyone then begins to look up at me like, this monkey's bigger than I thought. She immediately begins to look down, continuing her customer service smile, and I begin to cuss her out. And I'm talking really cuss her out, like saying shit I ain't never said before. Like, do you know where I'm from? Did you put your hands on me? As soon as they heard that accent, that American accent, shit flips. Her coworker loses his shit. Hey, what floor did you want to go to? I said, hey, shut up your mouth. I'm not speaking to you right now. Push 3. And all of a sudden, this random man steps from the crowd and says, that is not us. That is not Italia. Everybody started talking about, that's not Italia. That's not Italia. That's not Italia. Ooh, that shit had me hyped. I felt like Rosa Parks in that bitch.
This probably didn't even happen to him. I heard an African guy tell the same story a few years ago. So he probably just decided to just make a video, I guess. But this story irritates me because it exposes something people don't want to talk about. This man wasn't disrespected because he was Black. He was disrespected because he was seen as African. And instead of standing on his own identity, he put on the face of an American to get respect. And let's be honest, he did it because he knows the world treats Black Americans differently, not better in every way, but with more cultural weight, more social presence, and more historical legitimacy. So we have more global recognition. Black Americans didn't ask for that. We earned it through centuries of struggle, cultural production, political organizing, and global influence. So when an African immigrant gets disrespected in Europe and suddenly starts performing American, it feels like a slap in the face because it's not admiration, it's opportunism. They'll come on social media and with their full chest, they'll remind us all day long about 54 countries, thousands of tribes, hundreds of languages, rich culture, deep heritage. But when they step outside their borders, all that pride evaporates. They don't stand on it. They don't defend it. They don't project it with confidence. They don't demand respect for it. Instead, they borrow our identity, the one we built under fire, because it gets them better treatment. And that's what makes me mad. Not because they're African, but because they don't show courage in Europe until they put on an American mask. If your identity only works when you pretend to be someone else, that's not pride, that's performance. And Black Americans are tired of being the costume. Black Americans sit at the top of the global Black hierarchy, not because the world loves us, but because the world can't ignore us. We have a footprint that reaches across the world. Therefore, Black Americans are the reference point for Blackness worldwide. People imitate us, borrow from us, perform us, and use our identity as a shield because it carries weight. That is why an African man in Europe will suddenly become American because he needs respect. He knows the hierarchy. In the middle of the global Black hierarchy are the Caribbeans and the Afro Latinas. And then the continental Africans, because this is where the hierarchy becomes uncomfortable. And I believe this is one of the reasons that they fight us so hard. Black Americans became the global face of Blackness because America became the global face of modern culture. Africans were positioned at the bottom because Europe needed them to justify centuries of extraction. And I think that Africans, especially West Africans, are paying a serious price for the transatlantic slave trade. They say they didn't play a part in it. They didn't attack villages and round people up and sell them to the Europeans, but history says differently. And so now they are paying for it by being the bottom of the barrel. And they can come over here and call us all the N words they want to. But at the end of the day, we can get along with the people who enslaved our ancestors better than they can get along with each other. And everybody knows that they can't get along with each other. And so that's one of the reasons they are at the bottom of the hierarchy. Now, this hierarchy exists, and Black Americans didn't put it in place. But this hierarchy exists because of the global systems that we live in. Colonialism created racial categories. Europe positioned African identity at the bottom. America exported Black American culture worldwide. Media made Black American struggle globally visible. Immigration patterns reinforced stereotypes, and Western dominance shaped global narratives. Black Americans became the global template for Blackness because remember, the Africans don't call themselves Black. Everybody else calls them Black, but they don't call themselves Black. So Africans became the global other. We are the Black people. Now they're running around calling themselves Black, and we don't understand it because this is very confusing. But anyway, my anger at an African cosplaying as an American and as a Black American is because Africans really don't show courage when they need to show courage. They come over here and oh, they have the most to say. They do the most when they get over here. But when they get around white people, they don't have any courage. And this is one reason why we are not the same people. And this is one reason why we need to delineate and everybody stand on their own identity. But anyway, y'all, let me know what you think about this video and have a good evening.